Good morning, everybody. This is Srini. Welcome to Learn from Guru. Just let me check everybody joined on time. So can you hear me, everybody? Can you hear me? Just you can respond in the small questions window, including individual as well as the groups. Okay. So let's see who joined. Vamsi, Sunila, Padmasri, Madhuri, Himanshu, Rajesh, Aditi, Lata, Venkatapuram, and Raghu. Yes, we can hear you. Very good. So we already waited 4 minutes. So let's start our demo class. So one more time, welcome to Learn from Guru. And this is Srinivas Kale. I'm conducting this training program remotely from Sunnyvale, California. And let me give you a few more details. So this training program I'm conducting last 11 years. And whenever I start training batches 1 week before, always I provide a demo class to all my folks. Like there is a common demo class for a DBAs, whoever interested Microsoft SQL Server 2012 database administration, and another training program SQL Server 2012 BI developer training. So BI business intelligence contains T-SQL programming, SSIS, ETL, SSRS reporting, SSAS data warehousing. So all the 4 modules will come under the BI development. So these 2 programs always I conduct parallelly. So this once the demo class is done, if you are interested, you can contact us and we'll provide you more details. I already send you the course contents. If you missed that, so I will send you one more time to all my folks who are attending today's demo class. Complete PDF document for a course content for a DBA as well as BI developer. So let's move on. Why I'm conducting these demo classes? First of all, this is a remote program. People needs to understand the quality and what kind of training we are providing, what facilities we are providing, and how is the job market, and is there any help from our company, any job and placement assistance if you guys need it. All the details I can provide, and a brief discussion about what are the top modules I'm focusing on in a DBA, what are the topics I'm focusing on a BI developer. So both will cover all the details. So before start this demo session, do you guys have any questions? Please type in the small questions window. If you look at the webinar, right hand side, it shows the questions window. You can type, so I can read the question. If you want to speak to me, there is a small hand symbol. You can click on that hand symbol in the webinar, meaning that you want to talk to me. So I can unmute the candidate, then you can ask your question and I can reply back. So it's a completely interactive. Why everybody muted is because to reduce the echo and all the noise situations. I hope everybody comfortable. Every 10 minutes, I will ask you like any questions. Meanwhile, you can type it. It's a more interactive, so day to day. And definitely, I will send you after this demo class one more time course contents, Sunila Chawali. So I will send that definitely. So let me introduce myself. Currently, I'm working as a production support DBA, one of the insurance company in Bay Area, since 1 year. So until last year beginning, I was in Columbus, Ohio, almost 10 years. So I worked in different companies, insurance, state departments, and financial company like JP Morgan Chase, some of the what do you call warehousing, like a retail business companies who implement Microsoft Dynamics, and with the SQL Server integration. So I'm an end-to-end solution provider from the scratch, setting up the servers, allocating the storage, so creating the databases, set up to the either production or development or testing or integration or a regression environments. So I worked as a developer and I worked as an architect. I'm working as a production DBA. So all the three areas I'm pretty much comfortable. At the same time, I'm providing to the job support to my candidates. So doesn't matter you are working with me or working with a different company. As long as you join this training program, absolutely you will get a free job support from me. You can, once you complete the training, you join somewhere, you are stuck with somewhere, definitely you can call me, you will get a production support. Of course, development also, but not I'm sitting and writing the end-to-end query, coding and everything. I'll guide you. I will train you such a way that you need not to depending on anybody. That's why I'm happy nobody will call. So that's my objective. So we are coming with the different programs also. We are offering like a VMware administration, Hadoop administration coming a couple of months we are starting, and the SharePoint administration VMware. But not every month we start these programs, like based on our quality people, they based on the availability. Like, but SQL Server and BI developer programs are every 2 months we start the program. January we started, again we are starting April 50, March 15th, we are starting a DBA next week, next Saturday, and March 17th, BI developer. So usually the DBA programs are Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday night. Of course, I will send the detailed schedule. So Saturday and Sunday morning, same time, like 8 o'clock a.m. my time, probably East Coast time 11 a.m. So if anybody wants little bit early, I'm very pretty much flexible. I can start. Saturday, Sunday, 3 hours, and Wednesday night, 8:30 to like 10 o'clock, 1.5 hour. That the my time 5:30 to 7. So I will send you detailed schedule for a DBA as well as the developer. Developer always weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, weekly 3 classes. So this is the pretty much our plan. We are providing a course material, and for DBAs you need a remote access. For developers, to be honest, not required, because you work on a workstation or a desktop or a laptop in a real time. You are not configuring or like administering the servers. So you are developing the stored procedures, developing a package, developing a report. So you have to do on your laptop, but I will help you end-to-end setup on your laptops, like how to install, how to configure, how to use it. Your laptop is not supporting up to the SQL Server 2012. If you have any issues, then I'll give you the free access to my servers. You can log in and you can play around on the training sites. Training remotely, you can log in. This program I'm conducting through GoToMeeting and webinar. So once the class is completed, we will upload the recorded session automatically. So you will receive the link. If not, I will resend every time, so you can watch that video one more time. So or you missed the class or you want to watch that video again, so that video is available our site, our webinar site. So you can click on the link, you can watch. You have just a media player and GoToMeeting codec. I will send the instructions. You can follow and you can watch my recording classes again and again if you want on your laptop, single laptop or desktop, one system. So you can use this webinar with your headsets, or you can call the phone line also. So whichever way is best. Like 90% of the people using a voice or IP. So to be honest, not much difference on this. And opportunities wise, so everybody know that the state departments, financial companies, everybody using a Microsoft. Honest with you, there are a lot of folks are interested to join SQL Server DBA. Whoever already working in a Oracle DBA or like DB2 DBA or Linux administrators. So the previously not like this, like 10-15 years back, but now this open world and everybody need a multiple skill set. That's why people are interested for multi database administration skills. The opportunity is wise very good, no issues, because I'm giving the training. Obviously always I'll tell the positive, but you talk to different folks and go to the job search engines and do your research. It's my personal opinion, more SQL Server jobs on East Coast side. That is because I lived over there. 18 years back, I was in Bay Area, and again I moved slowly to the East Coast side, and 10 years I lived, and I'm back due to my health and weather conditions, a little bit fed up with the weather. That's one of the reason, and that's one of the reason. There's other reasons are technology. So honest with you, I'm not blaming anybody. The work culture and the work stress totally different than East Coast and West Coast. Like both are not like very leisurely. We worked in East Coast side, lot of companies, but in West Coast, that's not the reason. I'd say my personal opinion. It may change company to company, but it's my personal opinion. Here, lot of exposure in Bay Area side, in West Coast side, lot of responsibilities. So one guy's is East Coast tough to work. So everywhere is tough, Jay Prakash. So but as I told you, company to company, one company you might be enjoyed in West Coast, maybe tough in East Coast sometimes. So it's my personal opinion is the technology wise, always the latest ones, you can very quick updates on the Bay Area side. You guys know that, like a big data, Hadoop, like those things, not only simply buzzwords, the companies rapidly start implementing these kind of technologies. To be honest, I want to tell you one scenario. The recent requirements, there is a SQL Server DBA with a Hadoop administration, 170K full time. That's what just, I know it's not a beginners, but at the same time, imagine the interaction between the SQL Server and Hadoop administration. So both are different domains, but the company need both skill sets, and they are ready to pay the high pay scales. Anyway, come back. Why SQL Server? There's a lot of tons of tools and databases in the market. Like if you look at open source, free open source databases are there. Like a lot of companies every time uses the MySQL and Oracle and SQL Server and DB2 and PostgreSQL, MongoDB. There's a lot of databases, NoSQL, tons of stuff available in the market. Why SQL Server? What is the special? One is, it's not free, but reasonable price, reasonable licensing cost. This is based on my 22 years IT experience, and last 13 years I'm in SQL Server. So I started my career with SQL Server 6.0. Now you imagine how many versions we moved. So not free, but cheaper cost compared to other expensive IBM DB2 or Oracle. You can look at the blogs, you can see that. So reasonable and cheaper licensing cost. That is one of the reason in the market. The second reason, the SQL Server is tightly integrated with the operating system. It will not run in the Linux, it will run always in Windows. SQL Server runs always in Windows. But people may run an application on Linux, they can integrate with the SQL Server using ODBC connectivity. That is a different story. So you cannot install SQL Server on Linux flavor, but application is running Linux based, through ODBC they connect to the SQL Server. They can do that. That's why you can see some requirements, SQL Server with a Linux Linux skill set. Very rare, but possibility. So, state departments, federal, insurance companies. I worked like four insurance companies so far in my life, and financial and retail. If you name it, even they have a other excuse me, other databases already purchased, still they are interested with the SQL Server. Licensing cost. The second one is with the same SQL Server licensing, people means company can use a free ETL, free reporting, free data warehousing components without any charge with the $0 cost. I repeat, anybody buy the SQL Server licensing, they need not to buy ETL software separately because the SSIS is built in. They need not to buy a Crystal report separately because that SQL Server reporting service is available. They need not to buy like any Informatica or like, business objects or like, MicroStrategy, Teradata. They need not to because it's a built-in warehousing capabilities. You may ask a question, don't compare with the Teradata. Teradata is really large volume of the data he is handling. To be honest, SQL Server I have seen until 15, 17 terabytes database, no issues. If you tune the database properly, you align, you optimize, you can use 15, 17 terabytes, no issues. You have to follow like a table partitioning, all the strategies. If you implement the Microsoft standards, no issues because I implemented, I used it. That is the one thing. So the licensing cost is, and this is my theory. There are 1,000 companies. I repeat this statement to every demo class. There are 1,000 companies in the market. Imagine 1,000. How many companies are like very high volume managing like Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, those companies? Out of 1,000 companies, how many companies? Let us assume 10%, 100 companies. What about the 900 companies? Means the 10% is like a very high. But what about the medium or small medium businesses? That's where our target is. So this is my philosophy and the theory. You can go and do your research. So out of the 10,000 companies or 100,000 companies, how many companies are a medium scale companies, a budget allowing less than like $500,000, like Oracle or anything? You see that licensing millions of dollars. So that's where Microsoft SQL Server is in the market, captured a lot of companies. This is my theory. I'm an Oracle DBA at the beginning, but slowly I deviated and I don't know, opportunity came and slowly I start working in SQL Server. Somehow I liked it, I'm comfortable and start using. Okay, let's come to the job types. Job types, DBA. There are two types of DBAs, not junior, senior. Production support and application DBA, application support and production support. To be honest, I don't want to restrict myself, and at the same time, I recommend my students, don't restrict yourself. I want to do only DBA. I'll tell you the scenario. One DBA joined in our company, and he wants to do only production support. I don't want to do like a stored procedure tuning, or I don't want to do like a update statements. What that means? I don't want to use the bad words in the demo class. You are a DBA means you have to support your teams, your development, your production, your testing, your regression, your QA, your integration, all the things you have to work around. That's where your quality and your job is longer. So that guy kicked off from the company within 6 months. Just giving an example means obviously everybody know if you work like 2-3 weeks, I can figure out the candidate whether he is experienced and whether he is hardworking or helping the people teams. Simple and easy. So I recommend the people work on multi-skill set. Oh, I know DBA. I don't want to write a stored procedure. That's not the true. So whether you join my training or you don't want to join, that is up to you based on the quality. But DBA should know T-SQL programming. Without T-SQL programming, there is no SQL server. So people, lot of people were at the beginning, hey, I don't need to do any coding. Yes, you are not doing coding day to day, but you should know how to write the coding. And you need to understand what is an index, what is a stored procedure, what is a function, what is a cursor, trigger, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, there is no life. This is the pretty straightforward statement. As a developer, in olden days, I'm talking about 10 to 12 years back, a simple developer like a T-SQL programming developer means the person can do like writing stored procedures, creating tables, creating triggers, cursors, functions and all the stuff. That is not the case right now in the market. That is only 30% of your time. What about remaining 70% of the time? Companies are expecting from you either ETL developer, reporting developer or warehousing developer. So the combination, you should know the T-SQL programming with ETL, SSIS. You should know T-SQL with SSRS. Of course, if you know all the modules, that is wonderful. But at least T-SQL with at least 2 of them out of 3. ETL, reporting, warehousing, select 2 of them, you should be good. At least T-SQL is mandatory. This is these are my based on my experience and where I am working in companies. These are the real-time strategies. Anyway, so data architect, database architect jobs, you should at least 7 to 10 years solid experience in the market. Not for beginners. Data modeler and database architect are good experience. DBA, yes, you can do that. At least if you do some training and you do some certification and you're really pretty much comfortable. That's why I'm providing an environment, a remote access to my servers. You can simulate each and every scenario like replication, log shipping, like mirroring, always on. So all you can implement on my servers for a DBS. I'm providing that environment to my candidates. Okay, let's go back to the next slides before going to that questions thing. So prerequisites. So as I told you, for a DBS, you should know at least a basic SQL knowledge, either T-SQL or SQL. SQL means maybe a SQL you used in Oracle or maybe other DB2 SQL, so that's sufficient. Or T-SQL means transact SQL, that is the name in SQL Server. So if you previously used SQL Server, that's good, or you might be other SQL knowledge is sufficient to learn the DBA concept. So if you don't know anything, I will not recommend. Just not the sake of money, oh, I can give the training, you can join, no problem. But at least you should know the basics before joining in the DBA. That is my experience. Timings I already explained. So the strategy how I follow in the each and every class, like take any topic. I'm teaching, for example, SSIS package, developing a package, just giving an example, how to develop a package, how to deploy the package, how to schedule a package. When you are developing a package, what kind of problems you face in a real time, like you are connecting to Oracle from SQL Server like a ETL package, what kind of problem you face it upfront. That's why you are here. Instead of go to YouTube or go to Google, tons of documents, tons of videos, tons of PDFs, everything, the resources are available in every technology. But why people looking for a training? Somebody guide you in a better direction. Instead of wasting time, 2 months or 2.5 months, somebody guide you a right direction and get the job quickly. That's all. Means I am your guide. I'm not saying I'm 100% like perfect in everything. Nobody. So every day I'm a learner. Yesterday I learned the new things. Day before, yes. So what we need is, you need a proper direction. For a DBA, what to do day to day. If a ETL developer, what we do in a real time. That's all you are expecting from me. I will fulfill that. And I always recommend to my candidates, my students, certification. I'm not expecting everything, all the certifications. at least one certification for DBA, one certification BI developer. I will show you all the details. I will provide you. So I have some resources like questions and answers for the certifications. I'm not saying directly questions and answers 100% may help, like all the questions and answers will come to the exam, but it helps. So I provide that FAQs, like 125 FAQs I prepared for my students. You can download from my FTP site. You can start studying day to day for the either job purpose as well as your working site. Either of the way you can use it. And if you need a support, obviously after the completion of the training, like grooming and the resume preparation, like mock interviews, I'm not expecting any additional money, and we are not charging. I'm doing this like 13 years. So whether you need it or if you don't need it, I'll send you that all the sample resumes and everything. If you're interested, get back to me. If not, you are working with your sponsor company, because I support 17 consulting companies. I'm giving the training, not only individuals. So always is already there in these groups, 2-3 people, different companies. So they pay me because they are sponsoring. Definitely will help you through your company. And some of the video material I have, you can download. Additional from my recording sessions, there are some 30 to 40 hours videos material I provide. You can download and you can start using. And I already explained job assistance. We do some project work end of these, like each modules. You can start working, you can play around. So now, any questions, general questions before start spending on a DBA and developer topics? Like the next few minutes, after few minutes, we'll talk about that, what I cover in the DBA, what I cover in a BI developer. So before that, do you guys have any questions? So there are 23 folks, including groups. So anybody, Mr. Himanshu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, how are you?
Yes, sir, I'm good. Thank you. So, sir, you said we need to know T-SQL and MSBI also. So, if we want to become a DBA, should we do the MSBI training and then DBA training?
Very good question. So, first thing, of course, you know the basics, like a T-SQLs and basics. But if you want to become a DBA, you should know how to deploy a package, how to deploy a report, how to schedule a package. So you are not working in a SSIS or BI development. You are working as a DBA, but when the developer comes to you, give the package, hey, Himanshu, I developed the package in my laptop, working fine. Could you please deploy this package to the testing environment or production environment? That you should know the steps. But at the time of like deployments, even the BA developer is a separate batch. At the time of deployment and scheduling class, I will allow DBAs free of cost.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay. But again, I am repeating. So this is the 90% of the case. But if you know both, like a development and DBA, one is you are enhancing your job criteria. Means, hey, I'm ready to work DBA, I'm ready to work the BA developer, more opportunities. First thing. The second thing, you join in a company, you are working as a DBA, but sometimes some developer resigned. Then obviously the company is depending on you. They will ask you, do you know a little bit development? Not like .NET development. They're asking about like developing a package. So then you can say, hey, I know the development too. That is additional advantage. Your job is more secured. You understand what I mean, right?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, very good. So let's Kiran Sharma. Did you join before in my training any time in my past?
No, Srini, I tried few times, got busy. Yes, not. But I think listen sometime partly your demo, but not the training.
Okay, because your name's familiar to me, your email also familiar to me.
Right. Many time I tried. For some reason, I have not been able to join. My question is, few questions. Like for example, you said we need to know the T-SQL. I don't know T-SQL or any SQL, but I think I can learn. Would that be enough, or you don't think that's enough?
That's enough. Basically,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
tell you let me answer your question. Some
Okay.
person, I mean, this is my past. I trained 1400 people so far, more than
Okay.
1400.
Right.
So some person came to me, I'm a Windows administrator. The Windows
Right.
administration doesn't know any SQL server, any
Right.
SQL.
Right.
But day-to-day operations, they work with the SQL server installations, like
Right.
taking backups, those kind of things. So this program will help you a production support DBA.
Okay.
But if
Yeah.
you want to join as an application DBA, you better to know little bit SQL, but I will give you the resources. You can take my resources, some free books, free documents. I will guide you. You can join that, like definitely. If you want a only T-SQL module, I will include you in the T-SQL module also, free of cost. No, you need not to pay me.
Oh, okay. Okay. The thing is
Means
this.
what happens, you join the DBA, but first
Okay.
2 weeks you can join free of cost in the developer course also.
Oh, okay.
Whoever joining a DBA, I will
Yeah.
include first 2 weeks developer courses, because T-SQL you want to brush up, you can join. No, I am not like a company, not 100% commercial. Of course, everybody working for a money. At the same time, you need to support the candidate properly.
I've seen your dedication and your professionalism. That's why I was impressed. But for some reason, the thing is this: I'm a messaging person, like a, middleware administrator.
Okay.
Recently, what happened is, like job market, and this middleware job, especially IBM technology, is not like it's not that what was it before. So I am trying to see some alternative, and recently I joined a data warehousing course, because data warehousing seems a lot of job in the market, and then database, data warehousing, big data seems the future. So I am inclined to learning this thing. I am learning the informatica already. So knowledge of the database seems very necessary for a overall data architect person. So my aim is to be a data architect, because I am a senior experienced person on the administration and interest in the architect. So my learning the SQL Server is not to be SQL Server administrator, but to be overall as a data architect person. So my other question is, the learning the SQL Server, you will have a similar concept in the other database, right? Whatever I pick up tomorrow.
That's correct.
Okay. That's what I believe, because the concept like a table space, indexing, normalization, whatever, they should apply to same other database as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're right. See, tomorrow I want to learn like other databases like a DB2. So the concepts are 90% of the concepts are same, but they are using a different terminology, different syntax.
Right.
You and
I
me,
understand that. Yeah.
we know that we are in the industry past like 15, 20 years. So it's not too difficult. I'm telling, if you're somebody, a experienced person joining that course, only thing is understand the concept and practice little bit, and you're good. Yep.
Because as I said, I learned the Informatica first time. Basically, like for example, I can download the Oracle and install myself. I am that kind of person. I can pick up any software, install, struggle, go to Google, download the. I am that kind of person. Fully you understand. So administration basically like a production support, development, not on the database, but I know what it is. So I am confident I can pick up. But I'm just looking your recommendation, because I don't have any basic T-SQL or any stored procedure experience, except the concept on the university lecture, which doesn't, it's not very useful anyway.
I understand. So your goal is, if you are become an architect, you are not writing a coding day to day, but you need to understand, somebody come to you, there is a bug or there is an issue in the coding, and architect needs to give a better direction and fix the company, fix the issue very quickly
Exactly.
on the fly. That's
Yeah.
where the architect pay more, right? So
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
are expecting from architect like a end-to-end knowledge. Means
Yeah. Exactly.
you should
Exactly. That is
understand,
my
somebody open that report, you can look
right.
at the
Yeah.
report and see where the issue is. I mean,
Yeah.
we are not a god, and at the same time, the companies are relying on, hey, this architect is like awesome, he's very sharp, he's fixing the problems like on the fly. So that's
Right.
where the companies are looking for. So you need not to work on the different components, but you should know what the component is.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, no, I should have a very thorough knowledge. Actually, my plan is to join the Hadoop after this course. So I like to move on to the as a basic generic data architect plus big data person. But I like to get this basic database administration as well.
Wait a few more months. I'm launching that Hadoop administration pretty soon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So so I'm setting up the hardware, because in my company also where I working, we have Hadoop. So
Oh,
right
okay.
now I'm setting up my training purposes. Without I'm comfortable, I will not publish outside. I'm starting training, because I'm in the training industry almost 27 years. Not like I'm not a started training in US. I was in
Right.
India at the time. I wrote a book, some hardware and networking, and I developed a lot of white papers, and at the same time I worked in a different universities in India.
Oh, okay, okay. No,
Okay, so I know the teaching profession. Unless and until I am comfortable, I will not publish to anybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. By the way that you, like, I've listened one or two your demo partly, and the way you explain, it seems that you are the professional. That tells definitely you are the professional. That's not the doubt. And
Okay,
I'm
thank
also
you.
not looking the beginner, because as I said, I'm a person, I can pick up the software, I can pick up the document, and I can do it. So I'm looking someone who can give the thorough knowledge. I can pick up from there. I don't have to do more Google. That's what I have to do. I know you are not the
That's
end of the world, but still
that's
you can give the majority so that I can do the most of it, and then I can imagine from what you have given. Plus, if not, if necessary, I can still go to Google and do it. That's what
correct.
I'm looking.
That's why I made a statement. Instead
Right.
of like you are doing 1,000 Google searches, you came
Right.
to me to reduce that Google search to one or two, right?
Yeah, exactly. What happened is, let me share one experience. I'm taking the Informatica training online from India, and the guy is not like he just do it. Then I have to go to the Google again, YouTube, and there are very good Informatica video, and I'm looking there to learn actually. I don't like to do that. I like to do the majority here. If anything I like to further, then only I like to go to Google.
That's correct.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Thank you. What the next question is, Jay Prakash is asking, I heard after some time, like ETL is going to replace Hadoop. Is that right? Hadoop is going to replace. Okay. So to be honest, there is no replacement or something. Like, what you called old wine in a new glass, new bottle. That's all I would say. So imagine 25 years or 30 years back, where I worked, I used a COBOL programming. Like at the time, thousands of lines code we developed in a COBOL, like a mainframes COBOL. I'm talking about like 1990s, 91, 92, that time. Those periods, we developed that. Let me put on a mute. So no replacement. I don't want to deviate at this moment regarding the Hadoop or Hadoop administration. Not the replacement. Handling the large volume of the data in a different way. Unstructured data. So all Oracle, SQL Server, all these are like, RDBMS, relational based structural data. But Hadoop handles unstructured data. So pretty soon I will conduct that demo class on Hadoop. So you are in the link, so I can, or you can Google it, you can get it. But This is what it is in a simple terms. It's not replacement. It's a handling unstructured data and different way. I want to share with you. Sorry, don't feel I'm wasting your time. Just imagine, this is my observation. I go to Amazon.com. I'm planning to buy a phone, one home phone, like a landline home handset, one telephone. I don't want to buy immediately. I slowly moved my item into wish list. Wish list means I may buy or I may not buy. I may buy tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Imagine that the technology, how it's changing. When it's moved to the wish list, the price is slowly increasing. Means imagine 10,000 people moved a item into wish list. Keep watching. Of course, it's a reducing also sometimes, honest with you. It's a $1 or $2, it's reducing. I'll give you both examples. So most of the time the price is $2-3 more. So 100,000 people, there are 100,000 items moved into wish list. What do you mean by wish list? 90% positive you may buy that item. 90% positive wish list. So you may delete it also. So 100,000 people, 100,000 items, if it is a 80% or 70% items into $3, imagine the cost. That's where that intelligence, like very on the fly, the price are changing. And the same item in Amazon, early morning, different price. Like I'm talking about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. This is my observation last 3 months. Maybe a lot of things doing on the fly. Early morning, 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. a different price. 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. different price. Late night different price. The price is varying. I hope you already know this. This is the handling the data in a different ways. The companies are looking how to get the maximum money from the customer with the optimal solutions. There's a lot of algorithms, a lot of strategies. I don't want to discuss because this is not our object to this demo. So sorry for the 10 minutes deviation. But anyway, very good discussion. We'll come back and we'll discuss those things. So any other questions? So it's not replacing Jaiprakash. The Hadoop is not replacing ETL or something. So they're handling the high unstructured data in a different way. So there is a part of course, ETL also involved, but that's not the case. So excuse me. So if my company has a, sorry, my headset giving a noise. Do you guys have any noise or you guys are okay? Do you guys have noise or everything audio is good? We are okay? Very good. So, I forgot, like, yeah, ETL. So in my company, in my company we are using a DB2 as well as the SQL Server. Day to day we are using a SSIS packages. Day to day. So that's not replacing us different solutions. ETL, extract, transformation and loading, like exporting, importing data on multi servers, either SQL to SQL, Oracle to SQL, or DB2 to SQL, or DB2 to some other. So fetching, exporting or importing the data from different flavors. Anyway, so come back. So for a beginner, we recommend to use a developer training program, not a DBA. I'm upfront, I'm telling. If you are like previously no experience or anything, you want to start your career, or probably you work on a business analyst or a tester or something, not like solid experience, IT experience, so I want to start my career, I recommend be a developer. If you already know some concepts, I know SQL, how to handle, how to use it, at least you 3-4 months you have at least used it in different ways, back and forth. I want to DBA, definitely you can do that. Anyway, so that's the concept. Let's take a 5 to 7 minutes break, not more than that. 5 minutes break, not a coffee break or something. Let's grab some water. So 3 to 5 minutes, then we'll continue the remaining topics. Just give me a few minutes. 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you. So everybody back. We'll continue this session after the questions and answers. And I'm planning to focus 15-20 minutes. What I cover or what I focus in a SQL Server DBA, then I can focus on BI developer. So I divided into different modules. Database administration. One of the module, part 1, is like a setting up the servers, or what is the SQL Server architecture behind the scene, how the SQL Server is working, like how it's interacting with the network layer, how it's interacting with the operating system. Somebody like give a self statement. We know that self start from table, everybody get the results, but behind the scene, how it interacting with the like a database engine from the for a developer query or a DBA, somebody query the database, query the table. So how it works. So what is the network layer? What is the OS layer? What is the SQL Server? What are the protocols required? How its interaction? Those kind of things will cover part of the SQL Server architecture. And capacity planning. This is one of my favorite topic. Very interesting topic. So my company, one of the application group, they said, Srini, we need a new server. Okay. We need a new SQL Server. Okay. What is the first question? Of course, we need a server. We know the operating system. We know the SQL Server, everything. But what is the purpose of this server? Is it like a OLTP or OLAP, like a online transaction processing, like day to day, like a retail business or insurance, whatever online, like using a .NET or a web based or a Java, whatever you use. So what kind of activity, what kind of data you are storing here, or are you using for a warehousing purposes like data warehousing? That is the first thing. The second thing, how many databases you are planning to keep in the server, and what is the database, what kind of databases you want to store, and what is the current or coming days when you start day 1, what is the basic database size? Maybe 100 MB very initially. Why you are talking 100 MB? When you start a new database, it's a free. Of course, every database is empty, it's a free space. But imagine every database when you go live, there is a minimum data, like a referential data or a reference data or a lookup data, like number of countries, country table, number of states in a state table, or city table, or a zip code table, or a company policies table. These are like a lookup data. So minimum lookup data is there in the system. Even there's no like OLTP records before go live. So it's a basic size. But what is the expected growth? Coming 3 months, coming 6 months, coming 1 year, coming 5 years. I know it's difficult to estimate what happens after 1 year, but this estimate. So not 100% accurate at the beginning. Every 6 months we'll keep an eye, database administrator keep an eye, hey, how this database is behaving, how this server is behaving. Like, oh my God, last 1 week, lot of transactions are coming, like 1 gig data growth, 1 gigabytes. Okay, 1 week, 5 weeks or 4 weeks, 4-5 gig per month, and 12 months 60 gig data is coming. Then that's estimate. We do that capacity planning. So how many databases, how many users connected, we'll discuss in detail in the capacity planning. And when you create, before creating, basically you have to install the SQL Server. We'll talk about how to install either standalone server, how to set up the cluster environment or multi servers, how to set up in a real-time failovers. And when you create the databases, everybody can create the database. Honestly, it's 3 commands: create database, database name. You need not to come to my training program. You Google it or you do YouTube, you get it. But in a real time, when you create a database, how optimized you are creating, where you are keeping your data files, where you are keeping your log files, where you are keeping your backup files, where you are keeping temp files, temp DB files. all the files, excuse me. So all the files are scattered on multi-drives, multiple K drive, J drive, L drive instead of a C drive. C drive is an operating system. We are not keeping database files. So why we need to do that? Disk IO, like a reading and the writing process doing on multiple drives, we want to optimize that. That's where you need somebody guide you properly, create the database in a professional way, in a real time. So database creation with the different files, file groups, all I cover. And it's not relevant 100% my DBA program, but I help the candidate, my students, like a very storage fundamentals. What is a RAID? What is RAID 5? What is RAID 10, RAID 10 or RAID 6? What are the difference between these RAIDs? And which one is suitable for OLTP? Which one is suitable for OLAP? And what is a SAN storage? What is a NAS storage? How to configure these things? Like how to interact with your Windows administrator. Hey, I need more disk for the so-and-so server. So how to interact, how to talk those terminology. We'll discuss all those things. And apart from the regular user databases, we talk about the system databases, how it functions, how to rebuild, and how to interact with the system related functions, system related procedures, and completely on system tables, procedures and all we'll discuss in the part 1. So I'm deviating little bit from the PowerPoint. Personally, I don't like PowerPoint, honestly. So let's look at that. I want to share you SQL Server System View Map. It's already downloaded so many times. So mapping, so download SQL Server 2000 times System View Map. Don't get scared. Just I want to show you something. It's already downloaded so many times, but still this is the SQL Server 2012 System View and Map. So this is a $9 to $10 they charge, like you can print it in Kinko's or FedEx places, but you need not to learn all these things. But whatever the density area, like developers will concentrate. For a DBA, slowly, yes, step by step, but not each and every, but most of the time I'll cover part of the DBA administration, like how it interacts. Better to know. You are doing a graphical user interface, but you should know what is happening behind the scene. So that's where my focus in these parts, part 1. Okay, so let's go to the part 2. That is, once the server is set up, you have to schedule, start using how to take a different backups. What are the different backups available in SQL Server, like a full backup or differential backup or transaction log backup or file group backups? What are the different between all these backups? How to schedule? How to do the maintenance plans? And restore and refresh. So very frequently DBA, one of the responsibility, restoring the database from like a testing environment to development environment or production to regression environment. So how to restore the databases, graphical user interface as well as the scripting. Why you need both? Because every time I don't like same stuff every day. I'm doing what I do. I generate a script, I store it. Somebody told me I'll change the database name, I'll restore. So if we have a 10 to 15 hands-on scripts, the DBA, like in a flash drive, wherever you go, any company, I carry my scripts. Why? Same thing very quickly. I want to save my time. I want to spend my time in the Starbucks. That's where some of the scripts very frequently use as a DBA. We better to know. We'll discuss those. Restoring the databases and refreshing the database. Recover the database. So restore, refresh, recovery. These three are different models, different topics. Don't mix and match. But manager probably sometimes not completely technical. They say, hey Srini, restore it. Oh, we understand what he's talking about because we interact that. So I'll explain those things. And point in time recovery, one of the wonderful feature in SQL Server. So something goes wrong in your server, you screwed up or somebody screwed up. So how to recover the database, point in time recovery. Say 1.5 hour real time test. I will show you step by step. I'll provide the document. You simulate on my servers, point in time recovery. Then maintenance plans, like maintenance plans we schedule part of the SQL server, like clean up the old backups and creating backups nightly basis or midnight or early morning, whatever the time intervals, re-indexing the databases, optimize your databases using maintenance plans. We'll discuss in detail in part 2. The next one, part 3, this is a more 40% of my time we spend on this. This is the core. If you want more money, you should know this part. High availability and disaster recovery features in SQL Server. Every box I represent here, probably I did replication more than 100 or 150 servers. Log shipping, 70-80 servers I created. Of course, disaster recovery setup, we do that. Mirroring I used. Always on is a new feature in SQL Server 2012. I implemented last 2 months. This is new feature. So complete hands-on I will provide in my environment. This is the interviews people start using because wonderful feature. So I will focus on this. Of course, failover clustering. So all these cover as a part of the high availability and the disaster solutions in Microsoft SQL Server 2012. So all these are except always on available in 2008 R2 and mirroring introduced from SQL Server 2005. So before that only log shipping and the replication in SQL Server 2000 and SQL Server 7 old versions. Of course, failover clustering also there, but lot of enhancements in each part. So the next one, the fourth slides, what we discuss is performance and tuning. So performance tuning is more important. A lot of people missing knowledge and experience on this domain. Of course, every day is the learning curve as I mentioned before, but you should know troubleshooting issues. Somebody developer come to you, say that, hey, my store process is running very slow. Could you please help me? Or your memory is occupied 100%, or people not able to connect, or CPU is 100%, like not able to do anything, or some deadlocks frequently happening in your server. How to handle as a DBA, we will cover in the performance tuning module. So SQL Profiler, what are the tools we use to reduce our headaches? So SQL Profiler are monitoring tools, how to use monitoring tools, what kind of services you have to monitor. You are like, work 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, you left the office. So suddenly something happened in the server, it's not notified. So how to handle those situations, or how to monitor those servers like CPU usage or memory usage or disk usage or services or some issues happening, how to know how the notifications received to the DBA and what are the priorities. Some are not 100% priority, sometimes yes, we need to handle those things. So we cover in the performance tuning modules. And index analysis, how to handle the indexes, and as a DBA, how to help the developers tune the indexes. So very odd behaviors. So this is very important topic for DBAs. And query tuning, of course, how to tune the queries, and instead of running like 2 minutes or 3 minutes store procedures, how to bring it to like 5 seconds or 7 seconds. So even you are joining probably 10 tables, whatever. Just not represented in my highlights. SQL Server 2014 is coming. One of the feature, you can Google it, in-memory functionality. In-memory functionality means all the tables loaded in the memory and the queries are super fast. There's a new technology they implemented in 2014 and it's there in 2012, but it's there in 2012 OLAP. but not in OLTP, not in databases. In the data warehouse they implemented, but in 2014, that same feature they are coming in OLTP systems. That is one of the feature. And other feature, if the database is down, still you can connect to your connection to backups. You can start using querying the data from the backups. I'm really too sweet this feature, because if you start working, you feel it as a DBA. These kind of features, of course, some company like Oracle or DB2 or Microsoft, everybody is like implementing all the common features but different terminology. But we don't care. We care whether it is helping to our job or not. That's all our intention is. Our life become easier. So the next part we cover lot of bits and pieces. Security. So this module, even developers I will include the developers also in the security classes. Like that's important. Like how to give the permissions, what permissions, authentications, how to industry standard like security measures we can take in a real time. So we'll talk about all these in security class, auditing, everything. So there are a lot of other things. Rebuild indexes. So what are the linked servers, and what is a database mail? Like what is CDC? Change data capture. What is auditing? And how to migrate the databases from different servers to different servers. There are two different words. Upgrade is different than migration. So you are migrating from DB2 to SQL Server. What is a real-time scenario? What is the step-by-step process? Or you are upgrading your SQL Server 2008 or to SQL Server 2012. How to do that? I'm implementing next week in my company, one of the biggest upgradation. So these are the areas we cover as a part of the DBA. So any questions on a DBA topics? Anybody? Any questions? You can type your questions in the questions window. No questions? So you understand what I explained so far, everybody? You guys understand like what we discussed so far? Please type in the questions window. It's easy to move to the next topic. Very good. Very good. So do you have any specific questions, anybody? Okay. So let's move on. Then another module or another training course is BI developer, SQL Server BI developer, business intelligence developer. This is popular from SQL Server 2005 onwards because everything integrated. As I mentioned, there are three components mainly: SSIS, SSRS, and SSAS. So first module is SQL programming. So the SQL Server DBA course, 5 weeks program. 5 weeks program. So usually I spend like probably 35 to 40 hours program. Sometimes it may take more based on the questions and answers. Usually on and average in 40 hours. On and average 40 hours program. But the developer, it's more 55 to 60 hours it takes because of the large volume of the contents. So SQL programming is the first module. We focus on from the very basics like database design, how to design the databases in real time, like normalization techniques and referential integrity, logical design, physical design, how to import the logical design to convert the logical design to physical design. So we cover like in the database designing. That's one of the area. I'll provide the resources, I provide the documentation, I provide the notes. You need not worry. So I provide some useful sites on database design. So because you should understand before start like working on any T-SQL programming. So the next area we cover couple of classes on T-SQL fundamentals, like what is an index, what is like how to create the tables, like referential integrity, cascading, all the constraints, and just a while loops, like whatever you call like case statements, all the basic fundamentals we cover in T-SQL module very beginning. Then we focus on stored procedures, user-defined stored procedures, system stored procedures, temporary stored procedures. We talk about in detail. This is the one of the important area in T-SQL programming, writing stored procedures. And we cover the different areas like functions, like user-defined functions, system functions, date functions, string functions, all the areas. Without those things, very difficult to query. Without these techniques, you don't know how to write a queries. So triggers, we can implement object level auditing, like different triggers, delete trigger, insert trigger, update trigger. We talk about all those inst of triggers. All we cover is a part of the triggers auditing, like one of the area change data capture. We cover all those. So these are only highlights. There are like 5 pages course contents available in my PDF. I will forward again to everybody. End of like today, tomorrow, you will receive a email. Like you can send the feedback and you look at the timings. You can look at the course contents and all the stuff. And the next one is error handling. It's more important, like how to error handling, how to interact with the .NET or a Java developer, how to develop our stored procedure with error handling, try and catch mechanism, and raise error functionality, or sys.messages table. So all we discuss in part of error handling. Of course, security. As I told you, I will include the security classes common for DBA and developers. So not every case we use try and catch, Mr. Satish. So based on the requirement, we whatever the .NET developer, whatever the requirement coming up, based on that we will work on try and catch mechanism. But not every stored procedure try and catch, no. But we use as per the requirements. But safe to use all the errors, yes, up to some extent. But based on the business requirement, how complex the stored procedure is. So without any data loss, without any issues, how to develop. So we discuss those things. Did I answer your question correctly? Now, somebody needs to talk to me or any questions. Kiran, still you have a question? Kiran or Himanshu, somebody has any question? Type it, otherwise raise hand. Kiran, looks like you have a question. Kiran Sharma?
Yeah, I have a question. Is this the BI also parts of this course? Like actually I have that question. You said SQL DBA plus the BI developer. Is it the same course?
No.
Course or
SQL,
no? Oh.
SQL DBA is one course. SQL
Okay.
Server BA developer is a separate course. So you
okay.
can join either of the one or both, because there is no conflict between the classes.
Oh, okay. But you said for the SQL DBA also you allow 2 classes.
I will allow yes, I will allow the SQL programming topics. Yes.
For few weeks, right? Just to get the idea.
Without any additional cost. That's correct.
Yeah, because as I explained, my aim is not to be a particular even a developer. My aim is to understand overall. So would be useful to get few weeks to get the idea, but not whole course of the developer.
I understand. That's why I'm including without any charge in SQL programming.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yep. So the next one is, so next module, we focus on SQL Server Integration Services, SSIS. So this is another important, excuse me, another domain. So what we do in SSIS module, what is an SSIS package, how to design and develop an SSIS package, how to transform the data from DB2 to SQL or SQL to DB2 or SQL Server to Oracle or Oracle to SQL or SQL to SQL or Excel to SQL or SQL to MS Access, means vice versa, from multi sources to multi destinations. So people know that, like Informatica easily understand, this is a ETL module. So definitely, yes, you are right. So we talk about the exporting and importing the data from different multi sources, multi destinations. We develop the SSIS package based on the business requirements, and based on the requirements, we develop the SSIS packages. So we implement end-to-end solution in the company, developing, of course, design, developing, and deploy the packages on multi-environment and scheduling these packages. So if the problem comes, how to handle, like using error handling events, or how to do the logging, all we covered, like database scrubbing, database cleansing, all those things will cover in SQL Server Integration Services. This is a more time consuming module, but definitely we need to focus on this. So every area, it's not too complicated, we better to know, but I'll teach you medium to complex level also, all these different packages, different examples. I will provide you those samples, you can experiment on your laptop or desktop. That is a ETL module. So don't look at here, there are 2.5 pages document in my course contents. Here just I put only just a highlights, better understanding what we cover. So T-SQL and SSIS. So the next one is, we cover on SSRS, reporting services. Very interesting. So how to develop the reports, like a matrix report, canned reports, drop down reports, or drill down reports, or charts reports, all developing a reports using SQL Server instead of Crystal reports or a MicroStrategy reports. So inbuilt component in SQL Server without any additional cost, we use SQL Server reporting services. We develop the reports. There is a tool, report builder, that is also report builder 3.0. Will cover these topics here. How to different techniques, like a report cascading, I mean parameter cascading, and matrix reports, and drill down reports, and ad hoc reporting. So all we discuss in the reporting services, like charts, how to prepare the charts. Sometimes, like hundreds of pages report, very difficult to see, but my manager looking for a chart, a simple chart, what is happening last, like 3 months, what is the company sales, based on each salesperson how much he made the sale, and each person, each city how much he made the sale. So instead of looking the data, if the manager look at the charts or dashboards, it's very easy. I'm not teaching any SharePoints here, SharePoint development or SharePoint integration. I cover only reporting services, because I want to give you upfront statement what I'm doing. The next one is, of course, how to deploy the reports and how to schedule the reports, and designing all the color patterns, expressions, all the features. Of course, you can look at my course contents, you will get it, but this is another module, SQL Server reporting services. So this is more user friendly compared to SSIS, because interesting module for beginners. The next one is OLAP, like analysis services, data warehousing. So we cover how to, like create the cubes, like all the terminology, like slowly changing dimensions, fact tables, like facts and dimensions, as well as the talk about the measures, all the attributes. So we'll discuss how to like create a cube and deploy the cube, and grouping and sorting all the attributes, data mining and data mining algorithms and techniques, all we cover a part of the SQL Server analysis services. So these are the next and last module in SQL Server. So these are modules I cover. This is my objective. So now if you have any questions, please type it here. So we are starting the developer classes from Monday, March 17th. So anybody, any questions? Anybody, any questions? You can type it. So Kiran, only one person is asking out of 23 people, only Himanshu, Kiran Sharma, Jay Prakash. Kiran, you have any question? Madhuri?
Yeah, you said the developer course start on Monday. What time is Monday?
Oh, always the weekdays, the timings are same time like 8:30 East Coast time, my time 5:30 p.m. only evening times. Monday, Tuesday and Thursdays, the timings are standard, never change, 8:30 to 10:30.
Oh, okay. Because if I join the DB again, I'm wondering my time in classes because classes.
No, the class is the Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday is DBA class. Monday, Tuesday and Thursday is a developer class. There is no clash.
Oh, okay. No. I'm taking another course in the evening exactly at the 8:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Informatica.
Okay. So that is March 17th.
You start from, when is it? March 17th.
That's correct.
Oh, okay. Not this Monday, March 17th, right?
No, March 17th, because always after the demo, we provide 1 week time to the candidates. I will send you all the resources and I set up the, remote access and everything. So I have 1 week time. So let's talk to the fees and the course contents and the schedule. You will receive one more email in detail. So where is that? Jay Prakash wants to talk. Just give me a couple of minutes. Yes, Jay Prakash, you want to speak?
Yeah. Hi, Srini.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, I have a question. So we, as a MSBI, we are learning all AS, SSIS and SSRS. So when you are going to apply jobs, so do we need to apply particular job, or in all jobs they will ask all three?
Very good question. Who is that? Jay Prakash. Very good question. Thanks for asking. So the job market, you know that first preference, everybody need everything, right? So my recommendation, even you are taking all the 4 modules you are learning, you should know that, because in interview purpose you should know all the 4. But in a job, either you focus on most of the time either ETL developer or reporting developer or warehousing developer, either of the 3 in the job market. So, but interview they are asking all those things because people should know that. But in a real time, if you look at like either more on ETL side, more on the reporting side, more on the warehousing side, like ETL, yes, they are asking in the requirement that I want everything, but morely the person may work on as an ETL developer or reporting developer or BA developer.
Okay.
Did I answer a question?
Yes. Thank you, Srini. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Yep. So if you have any questions, please send me an email. Of course, you will receive a detailed email with all the details end of like today or tomorrow, because you have enough time. Then you can approach. So please send me your feedback about this demo class. So I hope I answered all your questions. If you have anything, just sake of courtesy, just send me an email saying that Srini, this demo is not good, whatever. So yes, Suman, you can let me give you my direct phone number. You guys can call me if you need any assistance or any help. So any of you have questions, you can reach me. Still my Columbus number, I did not change because of my training programs and my contacts. This is my cell number, or you can call me. Give me just 1 hour break. After 1 hour, you can call me, no problem. Or if you have any questions, training at learnfromguru.com. So you can send an email or you can call me this number 614-209-1054. Thank you very much and thanks for joining for this demo class. And DBS, we join the next Saturday. Developers, not the coming Monday, next Monday. And March is 17th. So March 15th and March 17th. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody. Mr. Venkat, you have a question?
Hi Srini, I'm just a beginner. I'm a beginner, and my question is: see, in SQL Server we have SSIS and SSRS, and Informatica is only a ETL tool, and MicroStrategy is only reporting tool. How they are? That means how they are good than this SQL Server actually.
So every tool has their own pros and cons, advantages, different own features. But Microsoft is providing a $0 cost about a ETL and reporting and warehousing without additional licensing. Imagine company bought a SQL server, they want a Informatica, you have to pay Informatica license cost is different. And reporting, Crystal reports or MicroStrategy reports. So definitely every tool has pros and cons, but if company Microsoft is providing all the solutions in one roof and one umbrella with a single license cost, obviously people like that. But developing a reports and ETL, so you can implement Informatica, you can use like SQL Server integration services, either of the tool they can use. Every tool has their own features and own drawbacks. But like as I told you, we need not to go for Informatica. We can use for like ETL and reporting from Microsoft because the company already owned Microsoft licensing. But some companies, I'm using Oracle. Yes, why I need to buy SQL Server again? Maybe they'll go for that Informatica and like different. There's the data stage. There's a lot of tools. Definitely pros and cons. But I'm not an expert to judge about data stage or Informatica or Cognos or like a MicroStrategy because I never used it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
See you in the next week. Okay?
Okay, see you.
Thank you. Bye.